If there's one thing I am a sucker for in terms of Lego, it's anything Lego castle themed. And you know that if you've been watching this channel. But what you might not know is that I'm also a sucker for what I consider to be the second great Lego non-intellectual property series, and that is Lego Pirates. Now, don't worry, this is a video about Lego Castle, but it's also a video about Lego Pirates because this week I picked up a vintage, small little Lego pirate set. And I want to show you my ideas of how I think it can easily integrate into my Lego fantasy castle theme. I'm Tom Bray since 1954. Welcome back to my channel. The set in question is set number 6257, which is called the Castaway's Raft. It was released in 1989. It has 42 parts, 3 minifigs, and a little shark, because who doesn't love a little shark? New in the box, it sells for like $200. But why would you leave this thing in the box? Because it's absolutely delightful. I got it for $20 assembled without the box. It has the original instructions, which I always look for. I love these small little vintage sets. I have many of them from the castle theme, siege engines and wagons and things like that. And I absolutely adore them. This is the first one I've picked up that's from the Pirates theme. And I couldn't leave it behind in my local bricks and minifigs store. And I'm going to show you why right now, in fact. If you look at it, what we have here is a raft when you look at it. It's got 3 minifigs with it, and the shark and the pirate flag, and a map. But it rolls. It rolls on the tabletop. And I think this is what makes this set one of the most clever designs of a small Lego set I've ever seen. There's so much play value here because in the rolling of this raft, it gives the illusion that it's floating on water. And the play value here is fantastic. If I were a kid, I would go bananas over this. I'm 71 and I'm going bananas over this. I think this is absolutely amazing play value. Let's have a look inside the instructions to see how it's done. You can see that these parts are not complex, and I think that they're actually still available. I love the barrels on the ends of the raft. I don't see any reason why this can't be duplicated, why you couldn't make 5 or 6 of these by just getting the parts and create a whole flotilla of rafts. And how much fun would that be? I have a lot of ideas of how you could use those. Let's first talk about how you might integrate Lego Pirate into a Lego Fantasy Castle world. I love Lego Pirates. I love the idea of them. I haven't collected very much of it because I've concentrated on Castle. I did miss the Barracuda Bay set because I started collecting after it had retired, and the aftermarket price was just too great for me. And I was busy collecting and building Castle and some Harry Potter and Jurassic Park. When I first started last summer, I was just exploring Lego, anything I could get my hands on to build. And so that's what I did before I finally kind of narrowed down and focused on Lego Castle. But I did manage to pick up the sets that were still kind of pirate themed, that were modern and still in production. And one of them was the El Dorado Fortress, which when I built it, my brains fell out. It was just such a fantastic build. I built it last summer. I just absolutely loved this set. And in thinking about it, there's absolutely no reason I couldn't use that set and integrate it in with my fantasy castle world. But the other set that I already have integrated is the 3-in-1 pirate ship. And I love that ship. But I used that ship, you'll recall, as a ghost ship with a skeleton army to send against the Lion's Knight Kingdom, commanded by King Cuthbert. And I thought it really integrated well. Now, this particular set, you could just use as pirates. I mean, there's no reason why pirates can't attack your fantasy castle world. Why not? Why can't pirates come across a body of water and attack. Yeah, it's not historically accurate, but who cares? It's your fantasy castle world. If you don't care about historical accuracy, which I really don't, I mean, I've got skeletons walking around, then why not just use them as pirates? So that's the first way, and that's the first way you could use this Castaway set. But the other way is that you could use it for, castle-themed soldiers and factions. For example, what if the Lion's Knights set off on this raft to explore what was across a body of water? Now, it's true, there have been other small vintage sets that have boats. So here's one, for example. But this raft, which is a pirate raft, could easily be adapted for the same purpose. It could be used as a way to float across a body of water to see what's on the other side. And we know from our study of ancient peoples that they often went from continent to continent on rafts or boats that were similar to rafts. So why not adapt that idea for your fantasy castle world? You could also think of it as a Normandy invasion. If you had constructed several of these rafts, even put horses on them, horses in an army to send across a body of water to attack a kingdom on the other side. That could be fun. Or how about using it with fantasy characters like a skeleton army? Here I've adapted this raft, this pirate raft, to be a skeleton army raft, propelled by a spider web sail, with even a soldier's head on a pike to strike fear into the enemy. And perhaps they're crossing a body of water as a scouting expedition, or if you had more than one raft, as an invading army. And then finally, in what could be millions of ideas, what about the Forestmen? What about the Forestmen, who are known to just stick to their territory? But what if one day they decided, hey, we want to find out as a kingdom or as a group of a tribe, what's on the other side of that body of water? We need to send an exploratory team across to see what's there. Perhaps there's another forest that we can occupy and expand our kingdom. So I could easily see using that to integrate into your fantasy castle world. There are just so many ideas like this that I think it would be really fun to explore. And I'm always thinking of ways to expand out the Lego castle world and use what's available and what's come before in a way to integrate into our kingdom, because we don't get a lot of castle that's released. So that's my idea on this set. I'm absolutely delighted by this set. I think it's one of the early wave releases of Lego Pirates. I think it's one of the most clever designs I've ever seen in a small Lego set. How about you? Do you collect these small pirate sets? And if you do, have you integrated them into your castle world? And if so, how? And do you have any other ideas of small pirate sets that I should look for, those vintage sets? I think I want to add some more because I'm absolutely delighted with this. First of all, it plays well, but second of all, it makes a really great display piece. I can keep this set out and really enjoy just even looking at it. That's it for now. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you next time. Until then, happy building.